The 3-week Formula 1 summer break is the perfect time to conduct a mid-season review and to take stock of how the teams and drivers have performed this season. If you're wondering why the summer break exists, I highly recommend this excellent video by Ollie from TGS F1, which you can watch in the card above. This is part 4 of our mid-season review, featuring the two rivals locked in the battle for both championships, Red Bull and Mercedes. If you missed part 1, you can watch it by clicking the card above as well. And now, onto the video. First up, we have Red Bull. The Milton Keynes team was a force in Formula 1 in the early 2010s, racking up 4 consecutive double championships. But in the turbo hybrid era of Formula 1, the team has not enjoyed such a level of success, with a total of just 17 wins from 2014 to 2020. A stark contrast from the early 2010s, where the team could even win more than 10 races in a single season. But for 2021, that appears to have changed. For the first time in over 8 years, Red Bull are shaping up to be realistic championship contenders, with the RB16B being a match for the W12. The team had scored 6 wins across the season prior to the fast-show Belgian Grand Prix, which is an all-time high in the turbo hybrid era of Formula 1 for the team. And if you look at Red Bull's past 6 years of results, you can roughly see how far the team has come in order to become genuine title contenders once more in the 2021 season. Before I move on to the drivers, I will acknowledge that Red Bull have continued to develop their RB16B to help in this bid for the 2021 title. On the other hand, Mercedes have seen development on the W12 since June, and I do have concerns that Red Bull are making a big mistake, focusing on winning 2021 in its final year of Honda as opposed to focusing on the new 2022 regulations. They made a mistake in 2013 and it took them years to catch up with Mercedes. I do hope that history does not repeat itself again and that Red Bull still manage to be competitive at the front of the pack in the new era of Formula 1. Red Bull gets a 9 out of 10 from me. With that, onto the drivers, Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. Quite needless to say, Verstappen has crushed Perez in the head-to-head, which is something to be expected anyway, owing to Verstappen being more used to the handling characteristics of the Red Bull. That said, I do expect the gap to close up in the second half as Perez gets more accustomed to the Red Bull. Now, I'll look at each driver specifically, starting off with Max Verstappen. I think it's fair to say it's been a fantastic season for him. He's driven really well, made full use of the tools at his disposal to be fighting for the championship. If you ask me, if he wasn't unlucky in Hungary, I think he would have probably kept his lead in the championship, but I will acknowledge that he has made mistakes that cost him his lead, like the bad pass in Bahrain and the lap 1 incident in Britain with Hamilton. I will attribute this to his lack of experience relative to Lewis, where he could have overtaken Hamilton anyway on another part of the track and not crashed out of the race, needlessly wasting a power unit in the same time. With that, I'll give Max a 9 out of 10 for this season. On to Sergio Perez. It's been a bit of a mixed bag for Perez here. He has performed better than his predecessors Pierre Gasly and Alex Albon, but it has to be acknowledged that there still is the gap to Verstappen. Though as I said earlier, I fully expect the gap to reduce by the year end. His season highlight is probably P1 in Azerbaijan, where he scored his first win for Red Bull, while the low point is probably the British Grand Prix weekend, where he spun in sprint qualifying and eventually retired, before going on to struggle in the race on the next day. For that, I'll give Perez a 7 out of 10. With that, here are the final scores for Red Bull: 9 out of 10 for the team and Verstappen, 7 out of 10 for Perez. Up next, we have Mercedes. Mercedes have been the team to beat in the turbo hybrid era of Formula 1, winning both titles since 2014. As you can see from the past 6 years of results, they have consistently reigned supreme by the midpoint of the season. However, 2021 is the first time since 2018 that Mercedes have credible competition for the championship from another team. And for this season, you have to give credit to them for how they managed to overcome a performance disadvantage from running a low-rate car to continue to defend its title, which the team is doing a brilliant job at, so I'll be giving them a 9.5 out of 10. Before I move on to the drivers, I will also acknowledge that Mercedes have ceased development on the W12 since June. This will mean that Mercedes will risk losing the title to Red Bull, who will continue to develop the RB16B. Personally, I think it's a wise move from the team, who ended development on the 2013 car early as well, which then allowed them to be a force in the turbo hybrid era of Formula 1. Now, onto the drivers, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. It's business as usual here, with Hamilton beating Bottas in every aspect, as it has been since Bottas replaced Rosberg in 2017 at Mercedes. Now, I will look at each driver specifically, starting off with Lewis Hamilton. I think Lewis has done a fantastic job again this season, showing why he's a 7-time world champion. He overcame a 10-second penalty in Britain to win, and went from last to 3rd in Hungary. Then became 2nd after Vettel was disqualified. And yes, you can say he's in the top car, but you have to admire how he pulled those off, especially in Hungary, a track that's notoriously difficult to overtake at. I will admit he's been lucky at times, like in Imola, but luck isn't everything in the championship. You still need skill, and Hungary was a perfect demonstrator of the skill he has. With that, I will give him a 9 out of 10. Now, on to Valtteri Bottas. It's been a difficult season for the Finn, who's in his 5th year of the Brackley-based squad. He has not achieved a win this season, and for much of the year, he has been rumoured to be replaced by George Russell for 2022. As you can see in the head-to-head against Hamilton, he isn't as bad as some may say. But the key issue is that his performances in the wet races and sections have not helped him at all, laying bare his inadequacies in the wet, most notably in Imola, where he was nearly overtaken by George Russell, and in Hungary, where he clumsily misjudged the braking point on lap 1, retiring on the spot. He has also been unlucky at times, such as when he had a botched pit stop in Monaco that led to an instant retirement, causing him to lose out on any points. As such, I'll be giving Bottas a 7.5 out of 10. To end it off, here are the scores for Mercedes and its drivers: 9.5 out of 10 for the team, 9 out of 10 for Hamilton, and 7.5 out of 10 for Bottas. With that, thank you for watching this video. Tell me what you think of my opinions. Was I too generous with some drivers or teams, or was I too harsh on them? If you like this video, do drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you around.